Hello, shooters, loaders, and casters. Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday Night Live stream. We hope y'all had a good week. CW, how was your week, my brother?
Oh, it was an awesome week. It zipped right by. I got to the range, got some reloading done, got a couple of things in. It was a good week. Really, really good week. Rebel, how was your week?
Well, my week was good. Got the groundhog shoot over with. That was a fun time, despite a lot of stuff going wrong. And Trent and I muscled through that and got everybody fed. We had a lot of hot dogs left over. We've been eating way too many hot dogs this week, but the conditions were tough. The highest score ever scored at that contest was 101, and the high score this time was 81. So 100 was great early in the morning, but by the time the 300-yard relay got started, I looked over at the little piece of flagging I had next to me, and it started ticking up. And the breeze was pretty good by 500. The mirage was terrible. Those guys said, I said, what do you see down there? A black thing in the middle of a white target. They couldn't even see a bullseye. So, but the egg shoot portion of it went well. We had 7 people hit the egg at 500 yards under very difficult conditions. So it was a lot of fun. I'm glad it's over with. It takes me a year to get over it. And we got to rebuild some target frames. So I'm looking for bargain basement plywood. I've got a line on that. So other than that, business is good. And I'm healthy except for my knee. And hopefully we'll get to talk to a surgeon here for too long. That's it. Next.
Mr. Gene, how was your week, my brother?
What's up, my peoples? Good to be back on the chat. Been a long time. Let's see, my week. Work. You people are killing us.
Hey, that's a 4-letter word now. That's a 4-letter word.
That's like, you people are bombarding us. It's crazy. I mean, we've got 40 by 48 pallets stocked 4 or 5 feet high every day with boxes. And that's not the FedEx Express and the USPS. Those are 2 separate carts. Big carts. They have just been working, just getting by in life, doing the best I can. Been doing a lot of shooting, going to a lot of events. I have a lot of majors planned for this year. I've got 5 USPSA majors, and I'm shooting another IDPA major here in June. Other than that, life is good. Miss Hotshot's still around. Let's still keep her here. I did get a new car. I traded my 2020. I traded that gold Sonata in that you guys seen. I got a 25 Sonata Hybrid Limited. That's got all the bells and whistles. I mean, it took me a week to program.
What color we got here, Gene?
It's called Carbon Blue.
Oh, that's
Big
Al.
Hey, Big Al.
What's going on, brother? Long time no see, man. Hope you're feeling good, dude.
It's
I sent you an email earlier, but
the car is the color of a sheet of carbon paper.
Probably like that better than gold.
No, I have to look for it in the parking lot now.
Yeah. I thought a pimp done rolled up into my shop when you drove that gold car in.
good to see Big Al. Good to have all y'all with us. We got 28 out there already. Mr. Walter, how was your week, sir?
I had a decent week. Some of you know I pulled a muscle or tore something up in my back. It'll be a month this Friday. I finally made it to the doc on Monday, and she said mostly suck it up, wimp. It's soft tissue. It'll probably heal, but it is taking a little bit longer than it should. So we're going to get an X-ray and see what's going on there. It's better than it was, but it ain't right yet. But didn't slow me down that much. Got to the range Monday and did some shooting, and I come up with yet another really good load for that 6-shooter Texan wad cutter, this time in 45 Colt. Came up with another lights out load for that one. Took 3 or 4 different loads to get there, like the other ones have. But boy, that mole's turning into something. In fact, I ran out. I needed to load. I shot some of the 44 calibers before in 44 special, and that'll be out next week. But I wanted to get some in 44 mag cases as well. Not a magnum load, just in a mag case, so we don't have to go into those cylinders and scrub out so many carbon rings. So I had to cast up more, which I did yesterday. And let's see what else we got going on. Yeah, loading and thinking around with worthless projects in the garage and so forth that don't require me to lift anything heavier than a beer can. Anyway, good week here at Casa de Viejo. I can't complain much. Mr. Mark, what you got happening?
Oh, not much. I've done some just some case prep. That's about all I've done on the reloading and shooting end of it this week. But yeah, I'm a little behind. I'm waiting on some primers to come in. Then I'll get some stuff loaded up. Other than that, not a whole lot. Mr. Lusk, your turn.
Good evening, everybody. Everything's going okay here. Been busy all week with work. We got our sushi sale going on this weekend. So I got to be at work at, oh my God, why am I doing this 30 in the morning? So I'm going to have to bow out a little early tonight. I got to get some sleep. I got to get up really early. I got to get off early tomorrow. I got something I got to take care of. But other than that, everything's good over here.
Cool.
Carry on.
With that being said, Kyle got to leave early, and he asked if I would do the verse of the week early this week. So we're going to move it up to 8:30 if nobody objects.
Absolutely not.
There's only one guy. I mean, it wouldn't do a whole lot of good if you. Lord going to do what He's going to do, but I'm just trying to stay along for the ride. Be about what He wants. Anyway, the topic tonight is gun violence. All right, let me explain myself. What we're talking about here is I get up every morning and I turn on the news on my local TV station. All you guys, there's 36 of you guys out there watching. I want y'all to type in the news station that you watch, not necessarily the station, but what city, when you turn on the news in the morning, what city is that coming out of? Mine is Atlanta, Georgia. And I bet Big Al's is probably Oklahoma City or maybe Norman. Kyle Luss says Atlanta. Walter says Santa Barbara, California. There's
Charlotte.
Hillbilly. Y'all pray for Hillbilly. He's under the weather. Red Raider, Lubbock, Texas. That reminds me of a country song. Glenn Davis watches Newsmax, so he's not sure. My point is your local news, where you get your weather information. What city is that from? Rich B is Richmond, Virginia. Edward Petty, Orlando, Florida. Abigail's Jacksonville. Big Al, Denison, Texas. Not what I was expecting. Crash, Rack, and Shoot is Detroit. He'll know what I'm talking about. Treads, Augusta, Georgia. Thanks, Tex. Thanks for playing along, buddy. We appreciate that. Rollis Carvella says Jacksonville. One guy, Fargo, North Dakota. Dwayne, Tallahassee, Florida. There wouldn't be a lot of crime there. My point is the city. Oh, so he's from Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I think he means Oklahoma City. Yeah,
right. They put city down yonder. Andy 79Z28 says Long Island News Channel. Chessport don't have TV, only internet, so he's smarter than the rest of us. Mike Hester says Charlotte. Casey Dolph, Billings, Montana. Palm Springs. Fairbanks. Columbus, Ohio. Bama Dad says Birmingham. CW is New Haven, Connecticut. Red Raider says Lubbock is getting as bad as Dallas. Y'all know where I'm coming from, though. Ozzy, Champaign, Illinois. And we don't know Hartford, Connecticut, the real Uncle Bob. My point is, our inner cities are riddled with crime every day. Every time, as soon as at the top of the hour and bottom of the hour, the first thing they do is tell you the weather, which is what I'm here to listen. And then I want to hear, they do a traffic report. But what I don't want to hear is what comes next. And that is how many shootings and how many deaths happened overnight. Every big city that is around us has this problem.
You mean every city with a Democrat mayor?
I mean every city, period.
Yeah, it transcends politics.
Well, the one that got me was this morning, and they showed this lady's picture. She was shot driving down Interstate 75 right past the Grady curves. If you know Atlanta, you know where I'm talking about. I know Bama Dad knows where I'm talking about, and I know Kyle knows where I'm talking about. There's a median. She was getting shot, and she pulled over in the median, and she was going to try to drive to Grady, because Grady is in those curves. She had to try to get to the next exit. Anyway, she died right there, and the ambulance come got her. She died before they got her to the hospital. 37-year-old lady, beautiful woman, and she had I think they said it was a 9-year-old girl and a 14-year-old girl, and she was pregnant with another.
God almighty.
I mean, yeah. That's my point, Rich B, right there. Way too damn many children getting caught up in the crossfire. And it's not just in Richmond, it's in every city in America. Now, if we're concerned about our 2A rights, it seems to me that the best way to preserve those 2A rights is to help law enforcement and whoever we need to help ourselves. What can we do to help stop gun violence in the major cities in America, and we all know what causes it. I'll say it, and this gets my ire up, and I'm sorry uh, for what comes out of my mouth, but this is what causes it. It's gang activity and drugs, and the drugs also lead to even worse sex trafficking and pimps, the sex trade, and being a Christian man, trying to live a Christian life, you don't want to think about these things, but it's to a point, guys, where we've got to, and it just so happened that I got an email this morning about an organization nowhere close to me, but they inspired me to bring this topic up tonight. And I'll share with you some of their stuff. But we're going to do the verse of the week here coming up at 8:30, so that Kyle can hear that before he has to go. Exactly, Crash. That's my point right there. Hurt people hurt people. Broken homes make people who lead that life. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame, y'all. It is. It is a shame.
I think a lot of it leads back to single parent households.
Well, that's what Fud's saying right here. Gene.
Yep. Namely the mother that is raising the children.
Or even worse, Gene, grandmother is raising.
Grandmother.
Yeah. With no positive male influence in the life, and then the courts they don't want anything to do with it anymore. They throw it all away. Slap on the wrist. Here you go. Get out. It's
in reality,
the situation has
it,
just been very confusing.
As hard as single mothers have it, probably nobody's really raising those kids most of the time.
Well, yeah.
Except
being raised by the streets.
But we got some good points here in the side chat. Thank you, guys. I'm loving this. Bud with a gun says, government took God and fathers out of the home, so we as men must reach out to the youth. Red Raider says, we had a shooting at a park on Easter Sunday. Families can't enjoy a nice day in the park without worrying about being shot. Alaska One Andy says, socialists want to take our guns away, but are letting the criminals, gangs, and illegals to keep theirs, although they obtained illegally. Let's talk about this for a second. This is my point. One of the things that we as gun owners have got to do is take care of our stuff and secure our firearms. When they get stolen, that's what leads to the illegal gun trade. These people can't, they're convicted felons. They can't buy guns themselves, so they have to buy them from other criminals. Where do criminals get their guns? One way or another, they steal them. I'm
going to tell you something else. If you drive into the city, how many of you guys have got NRA stickers, Georgia Shoot Connection stickers?
That's
stuff?
My next point.
Yeah, all over your back window. Scrape that crap off. Don't let anybody know you're carrying.
There cannot be a gun-related anything on your vehicle. That is telling criminals, hey, there's a gun in here, come steal it, and you're going to come back and you're going to have a
busted back windshield.
Busted window and probably a flat tire.
And they're not going to get a gun because who leaves their gun in their car?
Well, I've got 4. 1 on me, well, 2 on me, and then I got 2 more in the car. I can't carry all 4 into the restaurant. So if I go to the town, I take the other 2 out and just leave the ones on me.
That's my point. I mean, if you're going to carry a gun, carry the gun. Don't lock it in your car. You know, the responsibility is on the owner of the gun. You, like Jamie said, you've got to secure your gun. And if you're going to carry a gun, that license to carry a weapon concealed on your person is there so you can carry your gun. And we've got a lot of responsibility. They say right now over 1 million rounds of ammunition, stolen ammunition, are on the streets. Where are they getting it? That shouldn't even be.
Yeah. In my
There's a-
particular case, if I work for a school system, if I carried my gun on me to my work, not only would I be fired, I'd be arrested.
Yep.
Well, I worked at a bank, and I was under the same rules you are, but I carried my weapon. But here's the thing: I'm not going to submit to a search, and all they can do is send you home. They can't say, "Well, the reason you wouldn't let us search is because you got a gun." Well, how do you know? I didn't let you search me.
Well, we're not getting. You're not getting to the root cause of the problem. You ought to be able to have a gun in your vehicle without the worry of anyone stealing it. Now you might say that's just the way it is. Well, it wouldn't be the way it is if all Jamie was talking about wasn't there in the first place. But it starts, root cause, it starts with fathers being fathers. Period.
Gene, you see that comment? Daniel's gonna put rainbow stickers on your bumper.
Yeah, I already got something for him next time I see him. He just didn't even know it. See, he made that comment, but I've already got my plan laid out.
And Big Al said about the
Oh
same
boy!
thing.
That's
Yeah,
good
really.
coverage,
You know
Gene.
what? That opens up to a lot of mischief.
It's actually already in my range cart. So this has been planned for some time. It's just that he doesn't like to show up to a lot of the shoots.
Oh boy! Gene's got a rainbow furry sticker just to put on Fudd's truck.
All right, here we go. Some places won't allow you to carry on their property, so if you comply, you leave your gun in your car. Case in point, court. You can't carry your gun into court because they're going
That's
to make
one
you go
place
through the metal detector.
Hey, that's one place that you know you're going way before you have to go. There's no reason for you to carry that gun.
Leave your gun at home that day.
Yep. Yeah, I've always said you want to get a free pocket knife, go to the courthouse and look in the bushes around the front door.
You ain't wrong.
That's a fact.
Almost always you can pick up a pocket knife for free because somebody left it in their pocket and they got there and they're like, oh crap.
Now, on the other side of that could be somebody that's in the courthouse and now you have just stolen their pocket knife.
I found it in the bushes.
Someone put it there to retrieve it later. So
Yeah,
when I see, I've seen them there, and I don't touch them because I'm not stealing somebody's knife. If that was my knife, and I had to hide it in the bushes,
I know it's because I've done it. I've put one there and then had to go back at night and get it.
I'm gonna put a link in the side chat here.
Way to do that is carry a plastic dagger.
You know, that's becoming a thing.
Well, it's been a thing with me for 20 years.
Y'all check this website out. Let me share this. My pop-out chat ain't keeping up. There's a group out there called the Memphis Mafia, and they're running what they call a mission uh, called Street to Seat. And we'll get more into this later.
Now, the Memphis Mafia, that was Elvis's bunch, wasn't it?
No, not anymore.
Well, it's the Memphis Militia.
Yeah.
Memphis Militia, I'm sorry. Here we go. Muscle cars, second chances, safer streets. We rebuild engines. We rebuild lives. We protect what matters in Memphis. The mission, the Memphis Militia is a muscle car club with a purpose. We take men and women who have lived on the wrong side of the law and give them a path forward through discipline, skilled trade, and community responsibility. Community responsibility. What once fueled chaos now fuels restoration. This is not a hobby group. This is structured redemption. Structured redemption. Through automotive training and lawful community support, we are building something stronger than engines. We are building stability. Rebuild the machine inside a 7,500 square foot garage. Trainees learn real automotive repair restoration. They work towards certification, gain hands-on experience, and build a future they can stand on. Rebuild the person. The garage becomes a structure. Accountability becomes identity. Brotherhood replaces isolation. The same focus required to tune an engine becomes the focus required to rebuild a life. Members serve as a visible, lawful presence in the community, escorting the vulnerable, supporting local events, standing watch where needed, not vigilantes, not reckless, accountable and coordinated. Look at that little girl right there in that. What is that? That's a Chevelle.
Yep.
That is probably a 1968 or 69 Chevelle. But that's a Mopar engine. What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
That ain't the same car.
So they while I support their mission and I support their goals, I will not tell you to go support this group unless you feel led by the Lord to do so. What I would recommend you do is watch what the Lord is doing around you and get involved in there. Memphis. Why Memphis? Memphis is the most dangerous zip code in the nation. That's a GTX right there.
That's why
That's beautiful.
Trump sent the National Guard there.
So remember, all you guys listing the city that you watched the local news on, there's got to be a group somewhere close to you that's doing similar things. If not, maybe you need to be thinking about getting something like that going. And there's another side of that. That's the Memphis Militia. And if you looked, there's also Street to Seat. And we'll cover that after the verse of the week. But right now it's time for the verse of the week. But it's another arm of the same organization. It's called Owen Army. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But I think this is Christian Grest. Welcome in, buddy. You got a link if you want to join us. So let me get my Bible. Tonight, the verse of the week is going to be a little bit different as well. Walter, 1 Corinthians chapter 13.
I'm close.
I know you know what that chapter is about. You know, usually I share with y'all John MacArthur's notes and David Guzik's. We're not doing that tonight. Night, Andy.
1 Corinthians. I'm
We're
flipping here.
basically
I just passed first parentheses. I'm getting close to first parentheses. Which chapter?
13.
Oh, 13. I was looking at 3. I don't know what I thought. Okay.
We're basically
Okay.
playing Bible drill tonight. We're going to hit a lot of verses tonight. So we ain't really got time for John MacArthur's notes or David Guzik's notes. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1 says, though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I have become sounding brass or a clanging cymbal. Verse 2, and though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have faith so that I could remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. Verse 3 is powerful right here. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, but have not love, it profits me nothing. Verse 4 is where we try to start making a transition. Love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself. Love is not puffed up. Let's take a little bit of a closer look at these verses quickly. Verse 1. Even if we are able to speak multiple languages, but do not speak through the love of God, it's all meaningless. It's nothing but noise. To me, this verse is another way of saying people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Verse 2 there. Even a prophet, knowledgeable and understanding with faith that could move mountains, not filtered through God's love, it's useless. Verse 3, we could sell everything we own and give the proceeds to the church to feed the hungry. Sacrifice of self, even to the point of being burned alive. Without love, there will be no heavenly reward after this life. And verse 4 is the turning point. Love equals patience and steadfast determination. Envy, boastfulness, and pride are evidences of the opposite of love, self. In some ways, selfishness is the opposite of love. In verses 4b through 6a, the Apostle Paul gives us a list of 8 things love is not. In verses 6b through 8a, he lists 6 things that love is or does. And we'll get back to that chapter shortly. We're moving to John now. John chapter 13, verse 34 says, a new commandment I give to you, that you love one another, as I have loved you, that you also love one another. Jesus commands his disciples to love each other. Where does that love come from? It comes from the Father, as evidenced in John chapter 15, verse 9. As the Father loved me, I also have loved you. Abide in my love. John 15 is the chapter of the parable of the vine and the branches. Okay, so that love comes from the Father. At this point in time, Jesus' public ministry is over. And as he pours his final remaining hours, minutes, and seconds into his disciples, His primary objective is love. He's already washed the feet of his disciples. He's already he's already washed the feet of his disciples, demonstrating how love leads us to be humble servants. It's all based on how God the Father loves his Son. So, what does that love lead to? Ephesians 2:8. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest anyone should boast. And a lot of people, when they're preaching the gospel, that's where they stop. But you can't. You got to go to verse 10, which says, for we are his workmanship. We are his masterpiece, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. Grace, that's a huge buzzword in church people. By grace we are saved through faith, and that grace is the gift of God. We can't earn it. We don't deserve it. God chose to gift us by and through his gracious attributes that he chose for himself. God chooses to be holy, righteous, all-knowing, all-powerful, creator of all, gracious, merciful, and love. This is my main point tonight, and this is where I want you to focus for a second. Where, how, and why does God choose to extend his grace to sinful humans? I believe God's grace is an outpouring of his mercy. Without God's mercy, there wouldn't be grace. Grace is God giving us things that we don't deserve. But mercy is God not giving us what we do deserve. So where does God's mercy come from? God's mercy, I believe, comes from God's love. God is love, and because God is love, he is merciful. Because he is merciful, he is also gracious. Let's look at verse 10 right there, still in front of you. God doesn't love us, extend his mercy and grace to us, and save us from our sins to keep us living like the world and keep church pews warm on a Sunday morning. Verse 10 here is telling us to roll up our sleeves, put those work boots on, because before he created the world, he had stuff for each of us to do. Find what God is doing around you and get involved in that. And in my conclusion, I would say that remember the Great Commission. Jesus commands us to go and to make disciples. And I can go on for hours about making disciples. So how does that work? And remember back to 1 Corinthians chapter 13, the love chapter. We have to extend God's love, his mercy, and his grace to a lost and dying world, just like he extended it to us. Our job is to go. The Holy Spirit is in charge of the results. So even when, not if we go and share, we must share God's word, God's grace, his mercy, and his love, tempered through his love. Without love, it's just noise. It's just noise. Without love, we alienate the hearer and we squelch the movement of the Holy Spirit.
Not me.
Here's a period for you.
Without love, we're in danger of doing more harm than good. And I'll end tonight with the final verse of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, which tells us, and now abide faith, hope, love, these three, but the greatest of these is love. The greatest of these is love. And that'll be our verse of the week for tonight. Questions or comments?
Jamie, I just want to thank you for moving it up a little bit for me. I appreciate that, brother.
Well, you're welcome, brother.
This also leads us into how we can, getting back to the subject, volunteer in our community, our own community, to help things out.
See how God works, Rebel. That's not a far stretch at all.
That's right.
To get from the verse of the week to the topic we chose for this evening.
I don't have to go to Charlotte to do something. All I have to do is volunteer in a school here. I might not be a father figure, and I did do that when my daughter was in elementary school and middle school. I don't have to be a father figure, but I can be Mr. Mike, the big guy you don't talk back to, the guy that'll help you with your reading homework if the teacher deems it that she needs help. That type of thing. All you got to do is be yourself and be someone that a child would admire, and you make a difference in their life, even if it's just for a little bit.
Big Al's filling in that gap between verses 4 and verse 13. Thank you, Big Al. Love is patient, love is kind, it always protects, it always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. Love never fails, love never fails. And that's what these people that we're talking about tonight, it's what they need. It's somebody that'll trust, protect, and love them. There's Dave Thorzaks. What's up, my brother? And Mr. MCK Willie. What's up, Mock? All right. Any more comments? Walter, I know you got a comment about the verse of the week.
Well, you read from one of Paul's writings, so I'm happy about that. As you know, he's my favorite, and he was a prolific rascal. Paul was. He didn't mince any words to any of those that he wrote to in all the epistles, including the Corinthians. And he felt the need to lay it out to him. Said, "Here's how the cow eats the cabbage right here, fellas. This is how it works." And it's plain talk, including this chapter 13. He says, here's what you ought to recognize in as far as the value of the love of our God for us. These are the points that delineate that value, and you need to live up to those. But I'm a Paul fan.
I appreciate Paul, but I love John. I just love John. There you go, Willie. There's my brother Bull.
Hey, Bull.
Maybe he might like to go to North Carolina and shoot with us. And I think God's sovereignty is all over our show tonight. I think I'm probably not going to get through this without shedding some tears tonight, but that's okay. Owen Army is part of that same group there. Let me share this with y'all, if y'all are up for it.
Yeah, I read up on them a little bit today. They do a lot of dealing with the veterans and homelessness and so forth.
We fight monsters because monsters exist. Join the Army. Remember me telling you about they had a military aspect to them as well? We, the broken and the brave, declare that no man, woman, or child shall be abandoned to the streets, that every shattered soul can rise again, that hope will buy back every broken block, that courage will outlast fear, and love will rebuild what hate destroyed. We fight monsters because monsters exist. We build armies of hope because freedom must be defended. Guys, this is what we're all about. We transform every street that tried to kill us, from former trap houses to restored homes, from violence to vocation. Owen Army exists to redeem what others discard. Safe housing, intervention, and advocacy. We buy and restore homes used for drugs and trafficking and turn them into sanctuaries. Intervention, from fugitive recovery to drug rescue operations. We go into the chaos. That's putting your work boots on, folks. That's putting your work boots on. We amplify the voices of the forgotten through policy, storytelling, and presence. Memphis, America's most dangerous zip code. You either do this or die inside one of America's most dangerous zip codes. Y'all want to watch that? Let's watch this one. It's only 2 minutes and 36 seconds. It's only 2 hours.
So drug court, what it is Ben and I both went through drug court real quick. We had drug charges that brought us in, and we could have gotten our time. And like for mine, it would have been the form of 4.3 years. Instead, I got drug court and got offered services, and therefore changed my life.
It really did change your life. How so?
So I was able to go to college. I ended up getting custody of my son. I went to college, got a bachelor's in social work, got a master's in social work. And then I graduated with a degree in RN with a BSN in RN, and now I'm a nurse.
What a story.
The other thing is all of a sudden, like, I'm not on drugs anymore, and I have custody of my son, and I'm able to be a parent. I'm not another one of Memphis's deadbeat dads.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Bill, what about you? Drug court, how has it played a huge role in your life?
So I got arrested back in 2014. You guys actually covered my arrest. I was looking at a little bit more than 4.3 years. I got caught with a lot of drugs. I was on my way home from the firing range, so I had guns with me, and that's generally frowned upon. Drug court ended up taking my case and offered me an opportunity to get clean and get an expungement of that criminal record. And I did not take that opportunity. I decided to continue doing what I was going to do, and I got kicked off drug court. Long story, ended up completely homeless. Had a very low rock bottom. But the takeaway is the drug court introduced me to recovery. And really, this guy right here, I credit with saving my life several times over. The relationships that I was able to build through drug court, when I did hit a sufficient bottom to choose something different, I knew exactly who to reach out to. You can't make anybody get clean. You know, that's not how addiction works. All you can do is keep a hand extended, and then it's up to the addict to reach out and take that hand. But the drug court, you know, they provide an opportunity to people like me to get clean and to not have that really low rock bottom like I had. And looking back, you know, I could have chosen back then to accept that extended hand. I'm glad I didn't. But only because I lived through it. And a lot of people don't. And if you look at the totality of addiction, particularly in the Mid-South, right, and we're losing people left and right. It's daily. Fentanyl's killing people every single day. Young mothers, young fathers, kids. And that's not a problem we can prosecute our way out of. The war on drugs has been an abject failure from every metric you could possibly look at. So treatment courts step into this picture, and they take a different approach to it. You know, the addict does end up arrested. They do end up in a program, but they have the opportunity not to have that criminal record follow them for the rest of their life. That's one. But two, they actually get introduced to 12-step recovery.
Wow.
What are we thinking, guys?
I'm thinking.
I think more courts need to have that approach,
Yeah,
because that approach is rarely taken.
not to get too political, but this topic is sort of political. Um, Charlotte is a very liberal city, surrounded by very conservative folks. We're getting an influx of people moving in from different areas. I'm not going to claim any one certain area because it's North Carolina's got a great climate. It's beautiful. There's job opportunities, the low taxes compared to say where CW lives or where Walter lives, and people are moving there, and they're bringing their for lack of better words, foreign attitude and politics with them. So Charlotte has turned in the last 20 years to be from a very conservative banking town to a very liberal city, much like Austin, with an art district and this and that. And that's all fine and good. But guess what? Arts don't take people off the street. That's a wonderful program. They have nothing like that in Charlotte. They bounce you out of court and get you right back on the street. One of the biggest stories is the young, beautiful Ukrainian gal that got brutally stabbed on a public train, and I think everybody in the nation saw that. Well, if you watch the video, you can see that guy that stabbed her talking to himself, arguing with himself about what he was fixing to do. I mean, this guy has demons. I mean, he's got mental illness, bad, and they're saying, well, he's not fit to stand trial. So what do we do with him? Well, you need to find a place to put him. And
well, it goes a little deeper too, because he stood trial 14 times before that and was fine.
Yes. He was homeless. He was a repeat felon. And they cut him out, let him loose. He's an absolute nut job. And it's not that, don't get me wrong, it's not that I'm not empathetic to what's going on with it in his mind, because obviously he's off the chain. But he's a danger to society. We need to do something. He's too far gone. Maybe he can be treated, maybe not, but he needs to go to a place and be treated humanely until he's able to stand trial. And then he needs to be hung by the neck until dead. That's my view. I'm harsh like that. You did what you did. You need to serve your sentence. I'm gonna have to answer for every sin I've ever done when I die, and you're gonna have to answer for this one on earth when you're able to stand trial. Now, how society failed him doesn't matter at this point. The deed's done, but we can prevent or identify other children coming up that have trauma, that have mental illness earlier if we get more proactive in their life, instead of the teachers just writing on the chalkboard, giving them a little worksheet, and that's it. And slowly but surely you're getting teachers. My mother was a teacher. My father was a teacher. My first wife was a teacher, and they all really cared about their students. I think that's becoming less so, especially in a inner city big system. You know, they become numbers, and I've got to teach X because this is what the state tells me I have to teach. And who cares if they're absorbing it or not? As the schools get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So your teachers, your schools parents are not your first line of defense. You are. You need to pull that phone away from that kid. You need to pull them off the video games. Call of Duty is not appropriate for a 8-year-old. You know, take them out, get them outside, get them some fresh air, get them shooting. Be a father figure. Be a father figure to a child, even if you're not their father. That doesn't mean you got to feed them. Doesn't mean you got to pay their rent or anything. Just show them that you give a crap. I think that means a lot to a child. Show them you give a crap.
I'm seeing a lot of comments. Chessboard, Ronald Eastman. 3 strikes and you're out is a great law. I can see that. Chessboard, no more excuses. Justice must be served.
Exactly.
CW says just enforce our laws. Bull says we don't need new ones, just enforce the ones we have.
Right.
Agree.
And Thorzak's, the world is of the world. We can't stop it. We can't, but God can.
If you think about it like this, though, way back in the day, you didn't have any of these problems when they had public executions. And everybody carried guns. There were still drugs. There was still alcohol abuse. There was still all the normal go-tos that everybody blames. All that was still there, but you didn't have any of this because justice was quick, justice was public, and justice was served.
But we don't do things like that anymore, Kyle. If they give you the death penalty for killing somebody, you're still going to lay up on government taxpayer money for at least 15 years before they execute you.
And that is the problem. That's what I'm saying. If you were sentenced to death back in the day, you were dead by sundown of that day. There wasn't no 25-year appeal process.
Or you were hung
that you did it.
Or you were hung at dawn the next morning. My point is this, and Edward's got a good point too. Remember, they put up statues of George Floyd. They praise criminals. I get it, guys. Glenn Davis says swift judgment. You know, I know, Glenn, closer to 20. But Thorzak says, yes, true, God can. Yes, he can. And my point is, if we're going to, we're arresting these people for dealing drugs, running prostitution rings to make money to buy drugs. These women have to submit themselves to such tragedy on a daily basis to get money to eat and to fix their drug habit. If we can channel that into something positive, and instead of locking up these pimps for 15 or 20 years in prison and turn them into entrepreneurs, taxpayers, instead of being a burden on society, they're actually adding to society through programs like what we're talking about here. I see no downside. I'm not talking about letting those people who kill people. Look, this is what I'm talking about. God forgives us of our sins, but rarely will God remove the consequences in life of those sins. Like, you kill somebody, you're going to jail. You may even be, you may get the death penalty. You may, you may actually pay with your life, and that's a decision that you made, and God's not going to remove those consequences. I believe that God will forgive you for that if you ask Him and you mean it in a in a sincere way. But I think the point of this is kind of what one of the guys said. I think it was I can't remember who it was. I think it was Crash. Hurt people hurt people. You know, let's minister to the hurt. Let's see if we can extend love and an opportunity. And some are going to take it and some are not. And you're absolutely right. This ain't going to work for everybody. But I just wanted to share with y'all something that can make a difference, and that if we as the 2A community and gun loving people can get involved in our own neighborhoods, you know, maybe that could change change the the mindset of these anti-gun people. I know their minds are made up. You know, they want to take all guns away from everybody. There are no guns, so people can't get shot and killed in drive-by shootings. Well, you you don't want to do that for a number of reasons. Number one, there's a whole lot more efficient ways of killing somebody than shooting them with a gun. And if you take away all the guns, you're going to start figuring out what those are. Like a van driving through a crowd at a park, trucks, whatever. Oklahoma City bombing's one that comes to my mind right away. I mean, that was fertilizer and diesel fuel, boys. I mean, you know what I mean?
A lot of it too.
A bunch of it, a tractor trailer truck full of it. Dale, I seen that. I'm glad to see High Boys doing his Wednesday night Bible study.
Well, I got to share this with you, Jamie. That while I was doing that volunteer work in school, I entered. It was called the Bulldogs or Watchdogs program, and they did a background check on you. Of course, you know, I passed whatever. You came to school, and you interacted with your kid's class, and then you kind of checked the halls. You were just a presence, okay? You weren't armed. You weren't a resource officer, but you were a presence there, another adult that wasn't a teacher. So the last year I did it, the last year she was in grade school, there were two little boys that could not read very well. And the teacher asked me, she said, I know this is back to back, but during third period, could you read with this child? And during fourth period, could you read with this child? And I said, sure, no problem. I said, you want me to take them out in the hall? Or you want me to do it in the back of the class? She said, I'd rather you take them out in the hall and sit with them, and that way they're not embarrassed. And I went, okay, all right. Well, the first child immediately wanted to get up and start trying to run down the hall. And he had on a hoodie. I grabbed him by his hood. I picked him up off the ground. I set him back down in his seat. I said, son, don't try that again. I said, now we're going to read, or we could just talk about stuff like that. And he goes, I'd rather talk about stuff. I said, okay. I said, well, what's on your mind? I'm hungry. What do you say to that? He was on school lunch, school breakfast, you know, so on and so forth. It's the only 2 meals he got a day. I'm hungry. I said, are you a little frustrated because you don't read well? Yes. I said, do you feel like you're falling behind? Yes. I said, why are you misbehaving? I don't know. He couldn't tell me. All right. Well, then the next period came, and this kid he was a farm kid. He was slow. He had, I don't know what he had, but he was a little slow. and he liked to draw. So I would read him the story. I said, tell you what, I'll read you the story. All right. And then you draw the story with me. Okay. And so he would sit there and draw. He was pretty talented for his age. He would sit there and draw the story, and then we would go over the words again, and I would have him read it back. Kid number one, I end up seeing on the 10 years later on the who's in jail list in my county. Drug possession, dealing drugs, armed robbery. Kid number two, I don't really know what happened to him, but from what I understand from my daughter, he ended up getting a good job after high school and is doing rather well. You try to make a difference, you can't always make a difference. And it breaks your heart. It breaks your heart. You know, you tried. You tried to make a difference. And I hope that every day that one kid's sitting in jail, he thinks about me. Well, at least he tried. You know, at least he tried. It's all you can do. That's it. You know, he chose one way, the other kid chose the other way.
Okay, quickly. Walter, are you there?
Yes, sir. I was here.
We have a sighting.
Do we? Man, I missed it. I was looking the other way. Are we ready, folks?
Yes,
Here
sir.
we go on 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Mario!
Hit it, Dean.
West Coast weirdo.
Been a while since we heard that.
Yeah, it has.
It's been a long time since I've said that. It caught me off guard a little bit.
Gene, are you going to do your thing tonight?
I can if you'd like, sir.
Give me 1 second. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah. I have an oddity in the house tonight.
All right, here we go.
You can't talk about me like that. Come on.
Besides me.
Yes.
Anyways.
You thought I lost that, didn't you?
I was kind of wondering. I got something here. Let's see if my green screen's going to let me show it. This is actually a piece of 40 Super. It is the only one I have seen come through the shop. I snatched it. This is a really rare caliber. This is actually a piece of Starline brass. But because my green screen likes to mess with it, I'm just going to read you a little bit about it. I got it right over here on my phone thing there, my interweb mobile device. This is the 40 Super. It's a powerful auto-loading pistol cartridge developed through the collaboration of Fernando Colho and Tom Brzezinski and introduced by Titan Cartridges in 1996. It delivers ballistics comparable to the 41 Magnum revolver cartridges, yet functions, knock it down there, yet functions in standard 1911s and other full-size pistols. A 5-inch 1911 chambered in this cartridge is capable of penetrating 46 inches of clear ballistic gel. Now, it does not say how far away you're shooting it, but average would be what, 7 to 10 yards? That's pretty crisp. Place of origin, United States. Triton Cartridge is the manufacturer. Its parent case is a 45 Winchester Magnum. Rimless bottleneck cartridge. Takes a standard 40 caliber cartridge in it. The ballistics performance on this is bullet mass type 135 grain gives you 1800 feet per second. 140 grain is 1600 feet per second, 200, 1400, and 220, 1350 feet per second. So this is a nasty little cartridge, man. This is I load my 10 millimeters to what they've got on here. They're stout, very stout.
So is that 45 ACP neck down to?
Just a little longer.
It's a little longer. It's a 45 Winchester Magnum.
Yeah, it's actually a stiffer, thicker case, so it's a little stronger.
I do see a few of these come in, of the Winchester Magnums, but this is the only piece of 40 Super I have ever seen come through the shop. And I have sorted literally hundreds of thousands of pounds of brass coming from ranges from all over the United States. And this is it. That's all I've ever seen. If one ever got by me, I don't know how it did, but I just happened to catch that. You know, it's those, hey, that's odd. What's that? It's rolling by me. But that is what Hot Pot's got tonight.
Thanks, Gene.
I have
We've
never
been
seen
missing
that. Yeah,
I've never seen
seen that one.
Yeah, and it's pretty much easy conversion too, because it's the same case head, 473 rim, so it's a 45 ACP. So pretty much any 1911 modern design can shoot it.
You just
So
got to
you-
replace the barrel, right?
Yeah, it's just a barrel change.
I bet that's flippy.
I chronoed my 10 millimeter range loads, not my competition loads, because they're pretty soft. They're only 174 power factor, but the power factor I was running on my range plinking loads was 2 to 210 power factor, and my open gun that I shot at the IPSC Nationals, the 10 millimeter, I was running 198 power factor, using a compensator.
Yeah, comps work good with the 10 millimeter. Any higher pressure cartridge, they work really good with.
Well, you know, the chrono's catching it after it leaves the comp.
Of course.
And I've got a paper on my fridge with 198 power factor. I had the highest power factor at the match. One of the guy come close with a 192 or 4, but I took him out. 10 millimeter, best millimeter.
Damn, we're all glad to see Hot Pot on here tonight. So, yeah, Vanessa, and all you guys are making great points. And I don't want y'all to think I'm soft on crime and punishment and that kind of stuff, but I just want to help people, and I don't want to come across as, you know, I don't want this topic to seem political, because it's really not. It's about helping people when we can, and we'll never go wrong helping people. And I just think that if we're actually doing something instead of just swatting down the vocal attacks of the left or anti-gun people, I think we got more ammunition in the belt. I just feel like that if we can find out what's going on in our area of the world and get involved in what God's doing and help people, I think it goes a long way to help protect our gun rights. And that shouldn't be a reason. Helping somebody should be the reason in itself.
True.
That's right, Glenn. You're absolutely right, brother. And
When I was more,
you said earlier. Go ahead, Gene. I'm sorry.
When I was more in the public eye and I had my studios, I did anyone that needed help, I tried to help. You know, whether it was, you know, with some finances, you know, with just an ear, you know, a shoulder. Needed a meal, I'd take you out to eat. And I did that ever since I was in the public eye, being in studios, you know, because you meet so many people from so many walks of life. that sometimes it's you have to have some empathy and you have to soften the heart for some, because you see that's what they need. Maybe not want, but you see that's what they need. Used to have this little punk rocker named Sergio coming in my studio in Dayton, Ohio all the time, and he was homeless. He lived in the warehouses and under bridges, but he was a good kid. And whenever he would come around, I would just, hey, I'm going to go get some lunch, Serge. You want to go with me? Go hang out with me, man. Let's go down and get some Arby's. And he'd ride his skateboard, and I'd walk, and we'd go down to Arby's, and I'd buy him lunch. You know. And
Yeah.
I put it to him that I needed his company. You know.
I'm seeing a
I made-
lot of comments out there, Gene, about you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And
no, but you can take him along while you get a drink.
well, remember what we talked about in the verse of the week, man. People don't care they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You've got to extend that love to them first. Mm-hmm. And Glenn Davis, you can only reach a hand out to help. If they don't take it, you can't do anything about it. Exactly. But you keep that hand out. You keep that hand out there for somebody to grab hold to. And you don't, because they refuse you the first time, you don't not extend it to that particular person anymore. You
have to get them to believe that they are important to you as well. You know, by extending that hand that way, let them know that they're important to you. I just told Sergio, hey man, just come down. I just want your company, man. While we're here, hey, you want something to eat too? I got you, man. I did some work today. I think he caught on after a few times, but he still went with me. He still went with me, and I just said, hey man, I just want your company, dude. Let's just talk.
Yeah, Bull says, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, Gene. Bull says, I think a lot of times we get so polarized and jaded that we probably push too hard and too harsh. Well, that's what we were talking about in the verse of the week. That, Bull, maybe you can go back and watch the verse of the week. It started a little bit after 8:30. All of our efforts have to be tempered through God's love. We got to come to them in a loving way and extend love to them, or we're going to come across in a fashion that seems polarized and jaded, and they're probably not going to accept that hand. And you guys are absolutely right, and Thorzak's nails it. It's never too late to be a disciple of the people, no matter what they did. The Bible says make disciples of men, but the laws are the laws of the land.
Very true.
Yeah.
That comes back to me and that poor little Ukrainian girl. If I'd have been on that bus with my wife and I saw that happen and he's coming up to the front dripping blood with a knife, I know what I would have done. I'd have lit him up. Now, I'll leave it to the courts to decide. Unfortunately, I would be in Charlotte, so I would have probably spent at least 4 or 5 hours in the interrogation room. But I don't want that on my conscience necessarily. But
well, you'd have to live with not doing anything if you didn't in the same regard.
That's right. Exactly right. Exactly right.
Guys, y'all beating me up here. I'm sorry I brought it up. Bama Dad's got a good one there. To the weak I became as weak that I might gain the weak. I have made all things to all men that I might by all means save some. Ronald Eastman says the time for a handout is great, but after putting them in jail, and that's where they're getting most of these people. They're either doing interventions and getting them as they're arrested or after they're in jail. And yeah, Bull. Kyle asked to do it at 8:30 tonight because he's got to leave early. So we obliged him, and I think it was right on time with the subject tonight. And when I say, Bull, I like the way you put it. Extend the hand of help and love rather than Ron a hand out. You know, I don't want to feel like we're, just throwing money at people and that kind of thing, because that's not what I'm advocating here. It's helping them change their lives, and these things they are paid internships where these people are making money, a little bit of money, but they're more than that. They're learning a trade. So, Kyle, you want to tell us good night before you check out?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was typing in the dark. I meant you people, not y'all people. Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate you moving it up for me. But I've got to crash. I already have to be at work early, but I'm going in extra early tomorrow to take care of business. So, great verse, and it was great to see Hot Pot. Great to see all you guys on the panel and everybody in the side chat. And love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Kyle.
Love
Good
you,
night, Kyle.
brother.
Sleep well.
Night, Kyle.
Good night.
Night, bud.
Hey, Mark Thomas is out there.
Yeah. Good to see him. Thanks, Miss Kitty. I appreciate you. Thorzak says y'all beating me up out of love. No, you're not. I like Chessboard's comment. I was loved with a Willow switch of my choosing, and I made it to 78 so far. 79 next month. But yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, don't you hate that? Go cut me a hickory. I'm going to wear your backside out.
Ain't nothing worse than a willow switch, because that thing wrapped around your hind end.
Yeah, and
I used to go pick off the weakest twigs that I could find. I came in the house with a piece of ivy one time. That didn't work.
Yeah.
She went out the garage, got a 2x4.
Yep. Shouldn't have done that one. Should have been fair about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Bull. That's the exact concept of it. The whole feed a fish, teach you fish idea. Yeah. We're trying to make chessboard. Yeah, the Willow Switch dance fade out a while ago.
But I've done it, by God.
Yeah, I have too.
It's too bad it's still not relevant.
Yeah, well, in some households it is, brother.
Not enough.
You look like you're in a Chinese restaurant stomping cockroaches.
Ozzy says that poor willow tree survived me and my brother. I don't know how. Yeah, Miss Kitty, you're knocking fire, babe. I'm telling you what. Renting for 45 years. She's a homeowner now.
All right.
Yeah,
Great.
so Glenn says it's a hard topic. and somebody else. I know that's right, Dave. I got stories for days on that one.
God.
There ain't nothing that'll strike fear into a misbehaving youth like the sound of belt clearing
Belt
belt.
clear. Oh my God. My dad could make one sing.
Yep.
Oh God.
And I was a runner, you know. So a lot of times Dad would be aiming for my butt. He'd miss, and because of me,
Mhm.
it's my fault. You know, I get it
Yeah.
across the back or whatever.
I stood still and still got it across the back, the neck, the leg.
Now I was
The-
juking it. I was juking and jiving, man.
The immortal motherly words of love for her children. Wait until your father gets home.
Oh boy,
Man,
man.
that's
Well, what
Yeah.
about what about the this is going to hurt me more than it hurts you?
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
never
not.
believed
Lie,
that.
straight.
we all knew how much baloney that was.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
I call BS on that one.
Yeah.
I'll never
Hey.
forget the time I decided I would jump across the bed. Ooh.
Well, I'll never forget the time that I got the wait till your father gets home, go back to your room. I opened the window. Of course, we didn't have storm windows back then, no screens, single glass panes. I opened the window, and my athletic little butt jumped out, hugged the hickory tree, shimmied down it. So I'll show you. I'll go spend the night in the woods. Well, about 11 o'clock, I started getting hungry. Well, I'll just shimmy up that tree and get back in that window. Well, it was harder than I thought, but I made it. And when my foot hit the bed, I felt this cold hand grasp my ankle. My dad was waiting for me. And, oh, Lord, the screams ensued. Yeah, that was rough. That was rough. I was ambushed. I deserved every dadgum licking I got.
My dad used the belt till I got up about 14. Then it was whatever he could get in his hands. Hoe handles, extension cords.
Thank goodness he wasn't a bullet caster. You'd thrown hot lead at you.
No. No, that was one thing. I had more guns than he did. He never, and him being in the military, I asked him, I said, why don't you carry a gun? He said, I'd go to jail. He didn't have to say anything else. I knew
Yeah,
his temperament.
he was honest. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff, man. One more thing I want to show about this guy is the actual. Maybe some guys have come in late. Let me see if I can do this and as quickly as we can. The name of this email I got earlier was Winning the War on America's Streets, in America's Streets. And of course, they got the guy's tats and his face blocked out. But meet Red. Red's a convicted drug dealer and violent felon. He was on his way to a very lengthy prison stint when he heard about our Streets to Seats initiative, and some very productive conversations stemmed from it. Red decided to leave the dope game, the gang, and the streets in the rear view. He started filling out job applications, started volunteering to mentor kids in the hood and work on our projects with us. He got some good people in his corner. Not only did he get a job, he gained purpose. He beat that most recent criminal case. Was even able to get the charge expunged and is on his way to a new life. We will never change the worst streets in America without a red carrying our message into every one of them.
That's exactly right.
Somebody from those streets who lived what the block had to offer and who chose different. So if you'd like to help us build an army of Reds, visit Streets to See and sponsor the next miracle. And if you go to infidel.com, you can buy an operator pack of Tannerite, and we won't show the price of that mess. Y'all don't need to see my emails, do you? But that's what we're talking about. They're
Go ahead.
Vanessa says those streets are not just in our cities; they're in small towns too, but on a less volume. You're going to have more of that wherever there's a concentration of people, obviously. And Vanessa, you got here a little late. Bull got here a little late. And what's going on tonight is I got tired of getting up every morning, turning on the TV to find out the weather and finding out how many people got shot and killed in Atlanta last night. And y'all have all got those big cities around you. I know you do. And even in the small towns, this kind of stuff is going on. Hopefully not to the extent the people are being shot and killed in drive-by or two gang members shoot it out and an innocent little girl gets shot and dies. The one that got me was this morning. 37-year-old mother of a 15-year-old and a 9-year-old, and who was expecting her third baby. Shot and killed driving down I-75 in Atlanta, on the interstate. And I just feel like we need to do something if we can, and that's all this show is about. And we should probably start talking about reloading. And it is horrible, Glenn. It is horrible, but I think it gives us and if we're trying to do something about gun violence in our cities, it gives us more weight to our response to those who are trying to take our guns away. Look at that mess. Hey, 6-year Texan.
Oh boy, that's not good.
Well, Ricky's been stuck in Virginia with his broke down truck. Virginia's former lieutenant governor shot and killed his wife and then took his own life with his own 2 kids in the house.
Yeah, that's the worst part of that. Kids right in the house.
Over a divorce.
Yeah.
One of my local town's mayors was caught on closed circuit camera in the courthouse or wherever his office is, walking around with no pants on with someone in his office. And he said, "Oh, I was just going to the bathroom. You won't see anything weird on that video." And other people are saying, no, he was obviously excited. And the local Charlotte news, of course, sued to get that put out. It might be redacted, but his career's over with. he's walking around three-legged with in the hallways of the public office. You know, he's having an affair.
Who does that kind of mess, man?
Well,
Ignorant people.
apparently the mayor of that town.
Ozzy said he's glad he's over 3 hours south of Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah, man, I know Tread. Tread watches everything online, but I need to know what to wear when I'm walking out the door. You know what I mean?
I got a weather app on my phone. I look at it every morning and I go, okay, 80% chance of rain. My rain gear's at the shop. I'm good. It's going to be 36 degrees, insulated pants because I'm going to be running back and forth in between everything. I'm good.
Okay, I'll admit it. Y'all keep on with us. We do everything online. I'm going to admit something that
I'm an old soul too, Jamie.
Y'all are picking on me. I'm old. My ears ring. If I don't have some kind of noise on, I drive myself crazy. Okay, are you happy?
Yeah. And I can't stand my local channel for so long because it's liberal. So I'll flip it on Newsmax or Fox or something, and I don't have to listen to it. But at least it's something I'm agreeing with. So every once in a while,
ringing in your ears, man.
Yeah. At least I can look up and go, yeah, every once in a while, you know.
Yeah. And another thing.
Jamie, I'm gonna have to go ice pack these puppies. I'm squirming around in here down in the basement like a worm. So I'm gonna head out and I'm gonna get some ice packs on my knees.
All right, so we good on
yes.
Tuesday and Wednesday?
Yes, we're good. Let me I'll keep y'all informed on a report from the board of directors, and hopefully we can do the same thing we did last year. All right?
That sounds great, man.
All right. All right. Not y'all.
Not sure.
Good night.
All right. See ya.
So we're working on setting up the final dates for our Rebel shoot. Going to be just outside Hickory, North Carolina. So all y'all start making plans. If what we're talking about works out, and if there's going to be any change, we'll let you know. What's your calendar look like, CW?
It should be open. I should have no problem.
Okay, so we're talking about arriving on the 29th of June,
which is Monday.
Shooting on June the 30th and July the 1st, which is Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay.
Did you hear that, Tread?
I just text MacMan those dates.
Well, we got to make sure he gets it approved with his club. But if there's anything other than that, we'll hope. I hope MacMan's still watching.
I haven't seen him out there, so I thought I'd text him.
He jumped in for a minute quite a while ago and saying he was working or driving or something and was just going to be listening.
He said he was driving. Still ain't home from work yet. And y'all, you know, Walter's got more of a sense of that kind of timing than we do over here on the East Coast.
Yeah, it's closing. Yeah, I think they're at the same time we are right now with daylight savings time stuff. So it's about 7 o'clock.
Yeah, some people do daylight saving time. Some people don't. It's kind of
Yeah.
brutal. Man, trying to keep
Arizona
up.
doesn't.
Trev,
wish
what would
Ohio-
you think about getting us a cabin like we got up at Dead Zero, man? I think if we could find that one of those, but I don't know that there are any within a decent driving.
What hotel did we stay at that last time?
Wasn't it Hampton Inn and Hampton Inn in Hickory?
Yeah.
I'll make sure I get the right one this time.
Yeah, we'll coordinate with you, man. I wish we could get a cabin where we could cook and eat together. Well, we're going to eat together anyway, but it'd be nice to cook.
I bring a couple loaves of my homemade bread.
Woo! Yeah, that hotel had a nice gathering room. Anyway, if y'all want to come, just you come on and let us know, and we'll set up firmer dates later. Man, it feels odd that we're already finished the verse of the week.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe I should check out Fox and Friends in the morning.
Good night, Dwayne.
Hey, just well, one's depression and one just gets my blood boiling. So I'm better off doing what I do. I do a devotional, turn on worship music, and then I'm done. I'm done with the morning. I can't listen to the news or watch it.
I have to get out of the house, man. I get up at 5:30. Hope that I'm out the door by 6:45.
I usually get up at 6, get a cup of coffee, and I don't get back out of my recliner until 7. Takes me an hour to actually get my head back straight again for the day.
Let's talk about Miss Kitty's comment right here. Coffee brewing. The only thing better than the smell of coffee brewing in the morning to get you up is coffee brewing and bacon frying.
Yeah, yep, you're right there. Maybe some hot biscuits, man. That's if I got those things, I'm good to go.
Bacon and a couple eggs with sharp cheddar cheese melted on top of them eggs.
Oh yeah, a couple of
I
cackleberries with some cheese.
made grits at the cabin, Gene.
Did you?
Yeah, a little bit of bacon, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of cheese, and a whole bunch of salt. Yeah, I know, Glenn, right? We got to stop it. Making Glenn hungry when he'd be quiet. That's what I'm talking about, Bull. We all stayed in the same cabin. I was cooking for 10 people, dude. I cooked a bunch of dang grits.
You cooked an Al Green size pot of grits.
Did you eat any of them?
Yeah. Tasted like you snuck a little bacon grease in there.
Well, there was bacon in it. And garlic. You got to have that grease in there to fry that garlic up. About that.
Oh God, yeah. You know, I guess I'm addicted to Conecuh sausage.
I don't know what that is. Is that a brand name?
You know what that is because it's from Conecuh, Alabama,
Oh, okay.
and they sell it everywhere. Yeah,
I
it's good
know.
stuff.
There's Preacher's Day off. What's up, buddy? Yeah, we're talking about cooking. I know Preacher likes to cook, and I know he likes to eat because I've thrown down with him. And
I remember a couple of those videos. You guys were doing a
yeah,
rib joint or something, and I remember on one of them.
that's what I'm talking about. Gravy biscuits.
I can make.
Finest sausage.
I can do some good homemade gravy. Give me that bacon grease.
Mm-hmm.
I can do you some. I can make you some grits, or I can make you some gravy. I just can't do both at the same time. Exactly, Glenn. That's why I want a cabin so we can.
Well,
man.
why don't we look for something like that for down there?
I would love that. And look at that, man. Bull's gonna bring us some sorghum syrup. Man, my wife she hates that stuff. She hates sorghum, and I don't know why.
Good grief, I love it.
How do you say that? Conecuh?
Conecuh.
Hickory smoked sausage.
They got a hot one, a hickory smoke. They got several. You can look around on that website. But they sell it at Wally
Kitty.
World.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Maple syrup from our local farms. I've had some of that. Ricky Baird brings me some every time he goes up there and comes back. We done killed one quart, and we're working on the second, and I hope he brought the third with him.
Does he bring it Connecticut or Vermont?
Connecticut. That's what
You know-
that's the stuff right there, Miss Kitty. Pecan wood and apple and hickory are my three favorite woods to smoke with. Probably in that order, and we probably should start going through the room. Look at that right there. Ron 2A matters. Eating meatloaf, mashed taters, and gravy, and cooked cabbage.
There ain't much better.
Oh, yeah.
I'll
Man,
tell you what, as far as maple syrup goes, the best maple syrup I've ever had was outside of Roland, Ontario in Canada. And that stuff is strong. You do not need a lot. It is intense. The stuff we get here is so diluted.
There's grades of maple syrup, so you can get a stronger one or a weaker one.
Yeah, this was they were made. We got it right off of the farm,
Yeah, they just
and it was.
the way it's processed. There's stronger and weaker, just like coffee.
Oh yeah.
Y'all driving Glenn Davis absolutely insane. Talking about smoking with pecan wood.
Well, out here, Glenn's probably like me. He probably, like old John Wayne once said, "I ain't eat yet." It's only 6:45 here, and so I'm betting Glenn hasn't had any dinner yet.
Let's do something about that. Walter, you go first. We'll check out of here and let Walter find a pork chop without the bone in
it. You're close. All right, so coming up with here at Casa de Viejo, pretty much the usual fare as far as video goes. We got Saturday shots tomorrow and a Moldy Monday, and Wad Cutter Wednesday next week is with more of the 6-shooter Texan multi-caliber wad cutter mold. We're going to do the 44s next week, and I came up with a good load for that one too. Took a while, but we got it done. And we got a Free the Few Friday, and what else we got going? I got a couple other interesting, I'll call them irons in the fire. and let you guys guess what that means. But that'll be coming up before too much longer. There's, jail time involved. I'll say that. So anyway, that's basically it here. I'm happy to be here as always. It's always an enjoyable evening. I'm really glad to see Mr. Hot Pot back on again. That was a good visit with Gene. So thanks for making the time for us, Gene. So that's it for me. What you got going on, Bama Dad?
Oh, I'm gonna put some projects to bed. Finally, I've got 3 I'm working on that I've been working on for, I guess, a year and hadn't finished them, but I'm gonna finish them the next few days, and then I'm gonna shoot some video. My annealer should be coming online. I've got to roll a coil for it, and other than that, it's ready to go. And we'll get that going. Then I've got a bullet feeder for my Dillon that I made. Can't wait to see how it works. But other than that, till I get primers in, it'll be I'm not buying. When I saw how much better my hand load shot when we went to dead zero than the factory ammunition did, I'm not buying no more factory.
He's learning, Walter.
That literally blew my mind. I mean, from 1.5 inch to 1 inch at 500 yards. That's just.
What is this word factory? Well, what is that?
Yeah, that's
I
right.
don't recognize that.
That's what you buy and shoot up to get the brass to hand load it.
Oh!
Finding brass
the
for mine's not
stuff.
easy. I've been checking Hot Pot's website, and they never have it on there.
What's that?
300 wheel
PRC.
bag.
Oh, we got it.
You do?
You got a call.
Oh, that's getting bought up before it ever hits the website.
Well, he doesn't put it up on the website because we don't have more. He only put it up if we got more than like 3,000 to 5,000 pieces.
Oh,
Yeah, just call them.
All you got to do is call. If you're looking for something and you don't see it on the site, call, because I stash a lot of stuff like 45 Gap. We got a guy that comes in and buys it, so I stash it back, but you'll never find it on the website.
Well, that's good to know.
38 Super. I got a bucket full of 38 Super, small fiber barrel. And it's not on the website, but somebody wants it, they call. I'll count it out for them.
Y'all did that. So
I do that. I started that at the shop. I started the stash back.
Well, what should I do? Call and ask for you, or just send you an email, or what?
No, just call and talk to Heath, my boss.
Oh, okay.
And he was screaming at me, going, "Hey, you got 300 Win Mag over there?" I'll be like, "Yeah, we got half a bucket full."
Yeah, that's because you don't see a whole lot of 300 PRC anywhere.
Oh, we got 300 PRC. Got 6.5. Yeah, I'm that guy that.
Zero, my shoulder's telling me I probably ought to have gotten something a little bit less potent. Man, I'm gonna tell you what. I haven't been sore from recoil in a long time, but that was pretty sore.
Shoot me or Jamie's 35 Remington loads. That'll make you take some Tylenol.
Jamie loads everything to the max.
That's a whole face lie.
No, it ain't. That 9mm you gave me, that stuff. I was like, wait a minute. I'm shooting Hornady's best, and then I get Jamie's reloads, and it's like night and day difference. It's like my gun turned around and looked at me and said, "What in the heck did you do to me?"
I've shot Jamie's reloads. They're pretty soft.
I just
I'll bring my 10mm.
Yeah, I just don't load anything up. to max, except for my 6.5 Creedmoor, and it's probably just a touch over max with this last load I got. But anyway, thanks for being here by my dad. Gene, anything else you got to tell you got coming up?
Let's see. I'm going into work tomorrow because we have been so crammed and so far behind. I'm going to go in because my boss offered me one of two things. He said, I can either give you overtime now or I can put it toward vacation days with all these matches and stuff you got coming up. So I'm choosing the vacation days. So I get some off that, but I'll be sorting 380 tomorrow and then going to a 45 ACP mix primer, sorting that out. I'm going to get going with some more videos. I got a few 2011s now, so I'm going to do a little comparison between the bottom end to the mid-tier range, which is what I own. Just trying to get back in the groove and the vibe of making videos and getting everything done again. My second business, my tattooing, has also been very, very busy. So that's keeping me the weekends really jammed up pretty much, and evenings as well. Other than that, just trying to live life, doing the best I can.
I got one quick question, then we got to get out of here. Does your shooting shirt have a Republic Ammo logo on it?
Yes, it does.
So when you go off and shoot these matches, technically you're working just ammo.
Well, technically I'm kind of getting paid because when I need, I've been shooting jacketed 124 grains. My Kimber 2K11 loves them. Shoots them great, it's flat. So when I need some, I just go grab a big scoop of them and put them in a box and tell him I'm taking these home. When I need primers, I buy 10,000 at a time because I get them for cost.
There you go.
Yeah, I've got 3,000 in your shopping in my shopping cart on your site right now.
I'll tell you what, you should walk in our shop because that's the Walmart of reloading supplies.
Yeah, baby.
Powders, primers, projectiles, brass. We've got 2 buildings now. We had to expand to another building just for the brass sorting because our inventory has grown so much. We are an official Barnes distributor, Barry's distributor, Sierra, and a few others.
So y'all do a lot of walk-in.
Hodgson powders,
IMR powders, Alliant powders,
burger bullets.
Burger. Yeah, we got a full line of burgers now.
All right, we got to get out of here. Glad to have you back, Gene. That was awesome, man. The door's always open, and you always got a chair at the table, brother.
Thank you very much, sir. It's always great to break bread with brothers.
So, CW, what you got coming up, brother?
I got 3 videos next week. 2 more on the hammer and 1 on a 1022. I got back out to the range with that Firefly Bolt 1022 that shoots the quiets, and happy to report it's 100%, and it's actually pretty accurate. But it's a gas shooting those quiets. They're running about 730, 735, advertised at 710 or 720. They run a little bit fast, at least by lot. But 50 yards, I'm shooting just about an inch, which for that bullet, it's not great, but for that bullet, your 50 yards might as well be 200 yards. I mean, for what that's designed for, what you're going to do with it, it's a backyard, 10, 15 yard dispatcher. And you can hit, a golf ball at 50 yards. It's pretty darn good in my book.
Yeah.
So I had a really good time with that, and it cycles perfectly. It shoots a whole lot of ammo good. It shoots regular. I have to be careful of velocity because that Firefly bolt is an alloy. So I got to keep them under 1050. Otherwise, you're going to beat up and hammer up on the bolt. But most of the stuff that I shoot out of it is actually under 1,000 or at 1,000. So I feel comfortable that it's a good choice. And RWS hollow point shoots really nice, about a half an inch. So 50 yards. I'm really happy with it. It's not
I think
precision accurate, but it's really good accuracy.
I think something we should do at Rebel CW is
I tend on bringing a couple of those.
I think we should recreate his Easter egg shoot.
Well, that'd be fun.
See how far away we can hit an Easter egg.
That'd be fun.
Let's hard boil some eggs and put them on golf tees.
But Mac Man can't shoot in it. After what he did up at Dead Zero, he doesn't get to shoot at that egg.
Well, we'll talk about that later. Anyway,
He'll
guys,
embarrass me.
we got to clear. We got to clear the deck for the boys over at Let's Talk About Bench Rest. So y'all go over there and give them some love and a little bit of harassment for us. And we'll leave you with this: the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up His countenance upon you and give you peace. We love you. There ain't nothing you can do about it. If He's willing, we'll see y'all next Friday night at 8 o'clock. Say good night, y'all.
God
Good
bless
night,
you.
everybody.